How's it going, everybody? C-RadTV back here in our video, and welcome to another Detroit Lions 2024 NFL Draft Preview. So in the last draft preview, we took a look at the top Day 3 wide receiver prospects in rounds 4 through 7 of the 2024 NFL Draft. And in this one, we're going to take a look at the top Day 3 tight end prospects in rounds 4 through 7 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Now for tight end, I don't think it's really the biggest need in the world, but I think the Lions could address it here, especially if they end up losing Brock Wright to the 49ers, because Wright's a restricted free agent, but the Lions, they haven't announced yet if they're going to match the offer that the 49ers sent to Wright or not. But I think they got like 2 or 3 days left until they can make that match, to match it, but we'll have to wait and see there. I believe if Wright goes, I believe Detroit gets a compensatory draft pick as a result. But yeah, I think if Brock Wright does go, then I think the Lions will probably most likely draft a tight end in Day 3 of the draft. But anyway, we're going to take a look at some of these tight end prospects in Day 3 of the draft and see who the Lions should keep an eye on in Day 3. So let's go. So the first player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Penn State, standing 6'6", weighing 258 pounds, we got Theo Johnson. So for Theo's strengths, it's height, length, strength. Is to be an instant impact player at the catch point. He's able to elevate, can win the ball in the air, capable of H-back or inline blocker at a high level, subtle hand usage along with his route stem against press, which will help him to buy space against defensive backs. Well-balanced runner, able to keep his feet through contact against Iowa defenders, if you want to watch some tape there. Sets up his route breaks with good body language and tempo. Leg drive and control as a blocker. It translates immediately to the NFL run game. Plays with precise hands, sharp punch, and pass protection. In terms of his weaknesses, though, lacks in burst, agility, and speed. Will have a hard time creating any separation as a receiver as a result. Too easily contained by linebackers. Has some predictability to his routes that stem from his lack of explosiveness. Easily caught in space by linebackers once he gets the ball in his hands. Had some issues with adjusting his angle on blocks against Ohio State, if you want to watch some tape there. In terms of NFL comparison, he's been compared to Tucker Kraft and the Green Bay Packers. Overall, quite a lot to like out of his game for sure. Does a lot of things right. Has a good body language too. I think this is definitely someone to keep an eye on for sure. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Kansas State, standing 6'4", weighing 245 pounds. We got Ben Sinnott. So for Ben, he's a prototype route running tight end because even though he's not the most explosive or agile, his feel for setting up breaks and can use movements and control to create space stands out the most. And he's natural at putting linebackers out of position. In terms of strengths, capable halfback or slot tight end. Accelerates easily past linebackers. Has enough speed to get upfield. He'll have plenty of teams interested as a hybrid fullback type. Able to plant, can stop his momentum as a route runner, which will open up his underneath routes. Hand catchers get arm extensions to get to the ball before it gets to his body. He should bring enough special teams value to find a home on the roster. In terms of his weaknesses, though, short arm tight end, lacks the typical length to be trusted in matching up against defensive ends. He'll be outmatched physically if used as an inline blocker. Slip off blocks, whiffs on open field targets due to his lack of reach. Range is limited when he has to play the ball in the air. Loses ground instantly, can get walked back against power rushers. Late to get his head around and find the ball. Too easily slowed up along his route path by press coverage. Agility, body control is average for his size. Much more of a try-hard player than one that will be able to out-athlete opponents. He's also been listed as a player that could disappoint in this draft class because even though he's a smooth operator with versatility, he falls below standard NFL size with a 6'4", 245 frame. And with shorter arms, 32 inches. If he has to be a pure inline blocker or only used in the slot, he would have issues probably most likely combating NFL size and length. In terms of his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Harrison Bryant of the Cleveland Browns. Overall, a lot of things to like out of him. Has some special teams versatility, maybe someone that could be used as a fullback or maybe offer something else to the table. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Arizona, standing 6'5", weighing 240 pounds, we got Tanner McLaughlin. In terms of Tanner's strengths, complete tight end, can win as a receiver or blocker, wants the ball in his hands, generates power as an inline blocker, able to hold a linebacker or delay blitzer in place long enough for the play to develop, shows the prowess as a receiver with soft hands, quickly transitions from being ready for the catch to gain extra yardage. Strong enough to fight through contact once he has the ball in his hands. Reliable safety valve and a goal line weapon for the red zone. In terms of weaknesses, though, bit limited as an athlete. After the catch ability is more to a credit to his playing strength and his speed. Route run's a bit choppy, often with a clear difference in the speed upon release and the speed out of breaks. Clunky hips, which limit lateral adjusting, moving the slide and mirror to keep speedier rushers in front of him. Tendency to throw his head into the block, which is either going to get him penalized or injured at the next level. In terms of NFL comparisons, he's been compared to Dalton Schultz of the Houston Texans. Overall, a lot of things to like out of his game, the complete package, but a lot of things, especially in blocking, that he's got to clean up. Like, he's got to clean up better so he doesn't either get penalized or get injured. But overall, if those things can get cleaned up, which I'm confident the Lions can do that, especially since Dan Campbell used to be a tight end in the NFL, I think all that can be cleaned up pretty easily. I think it's definitely someone to keep an eye on for sure. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Michigan, standing 6'6", weighing 256 pounds. We got A.J. Barner. So for A.J.'s strengths, built like a transitional inline tight end, good size and length, strong runner after the catch, has the strength to drag tacklers with him. Plays low as a blocker despite his height, knows how to drop his weight in the run game, keeps his feet under him, won't get over his skis when engaging blocks. Maintain a solid anchor against Penn State if you want to watch some film and tape there. And he wasn't knocked back much by their pass rushers. In terms of his weaknesses, though, his speed will be a major concern when he has to get in the space and try to find separation. Unable to pull away from linebackers at any area of the field. Lacks the versatility to move out to the slot. Lack of upside in the pass game will make it hard for him to work his way out of the later rounds. In terms of NFL comparisons, he's been compared to Luke Farrell of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Overall, a lot of things to like out of his game. Does a lot of things right. I think this is definitely someone to keep an eye on for sure. So the next player we're going to go over here, we have hailing out of Utah, standing 6'5", weighing 245 pounds. We got Thomas Yasmin. So for Thomas's strengths, quick to snap off his routes, will beat linebackers with his feet for change of speed. Easy stride, covers a lot of ground. His ability to thread vertically will help draw linebackers downfield, open things up underneath. Separation ability should help him find immediate work in the NFL and passing attack. Rangy enough to snatch difficult passes. He's hard to bring down once he gets the ball in his hands. He's also been listed as one of the top sleeper picks in this draft because even though he had a season-ending injury that kept him off the map as a prospect, his long strides, vertical abilities, and development receiving tight end, and a special teamer apply, he could skyrocket. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he's behind the 8 ball due to experience. Former rugby player that didn't play football until he got to college. Spinally lower body, lack of overall mass, will limit him in the run game. Body type will likely always keep him out of an inline blocking role. High cut build makes giving leverage or making sharp turns a tall task for him. He doesn't play up to the physical expectations of his rugby background may suggest. And his finesse style may worry teams when they project him to special teams. In terms of NFL comparisons, he's been compared to Bryson Hopkins of the Los Angeles Rams. Overall, a lot of things to like out of his game. Could do a lot of things here. Could use him in a lot of different areas. Hey, maybe someone to keep an eye on here for sure. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Iowa, standing 6'4", weighing 256 pounds. We got Eric All. So for Eric's strengths, possesses good length, big mitts for a tight end. Versatile alignment between inline, halfback, fullback, and the slot at Iowa. Easy burst off the line, allows him to separate from most linebackers, glides through space, opens up some stride well downfield. Very sharp with his route breaks, can strike defenders when he changes directions. Trusts his hands in contested situations, transitions immediately after the catch, has value in the ball in his hands. Deceptive with his body language and his footwork on routes. Effort to control as a blocker improved throughout the year. In terms of his weaknesses, though, disengaged blocker without much intention behind his contact. Tries to use his frame to wall off defenders rather than just put his hands on them. Inaccurate move blocker due to unreliable angles, lack of focus. Keeps his hands too low, doesn't prepare himself as a blocker. Awareness of decision making, have notable lapses, lacks the strength at the end of his reach. In terms of NFL comparisons, he's been compared to now retired tight end Jordan Leggett. Overall, there's actually a lot to like out of his game for sure. A few things to clean up, but I think definitely someone to keep an eye on for sure. And the final tight end, the final player we're going to talk about in this video, hailing out of Colorado State, standing 6'3", weighing 235 pounds. We got Dallin Holker. Silver Dollar strengths, decent route runner, movements are smooth, makes some breaks that are impressive in order to give himself a little cushion. Solid adjustability thanks to a QB who has issues with ball placement, has some contortionist-like qualities in that regard. A lot of coaches at Colorado State buzz about his athleticism. Could be a good tester even if it's on field. It's sketchy. Developmental athlete, soft hands, usually catches the ball well. Relatively elusive, can chain a move or two together to get more open space and build up speed. He's also been listed as one of the small school studs in this draft class because he's sure to be labeled by many teams as a tweener at 6'2", 6'3", and 235. And too late for blocking duties, but his breakout 2023 season might have the same teams wondering if measurables outweigh evidence that he could become a playmaker. In terms of his weaknesses, though, terrible blocker, lacks both awareness and strength to keep plays alive, often gives up on his assignments before the play develops. Explosive out of release, which is role quality. No juice, doesn't really do enough physically to give himself extra space. Has to win through the route. Overage prospect, has limited physical development left for him. His lack of mass and height, not going to change. Gets boxed out by defenders easily. Game speed doesn't match the buzz coming from coaches about his athleticism. Has issues with ball security after the catch. In terms of NFL comparison, he's been compared to Boo Williams and the New Orleans Saints. Overall, a lot of things to like out of him, but he seems more of a project at the moment. You know, maybe someone a couple years down the line, they could be something. But yeah, anyway, that'll wrap it up for this Detroit Lions 2024 NFL Draft Preview. So yeah, quite a few interesting prospects to keep an eye on there for sure for tight ends. Especially if the Lions do end up indeed losing out on Brock Wright to the 49ers. If they choose not to match the contract offer. You know, we'll have to wait and see. I believe Detroit has till around maybe Friday to match it. Friday or Saturday to match it. If they want to keep him. But yeah, we'll find out later this week what Detroit wants to do. But yeah, definitely some interesting prospects to keep an eye on for tight end for sure in day 3. You know, I mean, day 3, it's where the Lions found James Mitchell at tight end. Day 2 is also where they found Sam Laporta. So, you know, Brad Holmes has been really good at cooking, you know, at the end of the day. Just got to let him cook. But I feel like if the Lions lose Brock Wright, I think tight end. I think they do address tight end probably day 3. But yeah, definitely some interesting prospects to keep an eye on for sure. But yeah, anyway, that'll wrap it up for this draft preview. The next draft preview will wrap up the offensive side of the draft previews when we wrap up the O-line draft previews. But yeah, anyway, that'll wrap it up here. That's all I got to say. Hope everyone's a great day, and I'll see y'all whatever I make next. I'm out.